Hello again, class. This is Business English, Chapter 2, Week number 3. So we have finished our first chapter, Business Email, on last week. So we have traveling through the first chapter for 2 weeks already. So this is week number 3, Business Memorandum. So in the Business Memorandum, I hope we could finish the chapter within 1 week or one online class only. So it might take you about 60 to 70 minutes to finish. So I need you to concentrate and deliver your participation at most at possible. Okay. So let's begin our chapter 2, Business Memorandum. So this chapter, according to the business, we need to have the memorandum. What is memorandum? We will go through this chapter together. Memorandum. The walkthrough for this week and this online week is that first I will tell you the definitions of memorandum use and the significance of the memos. Okay, so first is the use, definitions and structure. Types of memos. Okay, we have 3 types of memos to learn. Next, purpose. Each of the type of memos have different purpose. We will use different levels of language. We use different phrases of English to convey the message out through the memorandum. Okay, advantages of memos. Okay, format and structures. Useful memorandum phrase, which are very useful, and I will guide you of how to write a perfect memorandum also. Followed by the examples and practice on memorandum. At the last minutes of this chapter, I will assign you to do a type of memorandum, okay, and submit to me via Google Classroom. Don't forget to submit within Friday at midnight, okay? If you are going to submit late, it will be subject to your score, okay? So, what is memorandum? A memorandum is a short message or a record used for internal communication. What is internal communications? It means that this type of recording, this type of the evidence is the use of internal organizations only. It is the communication within the company. You are going to convey out the information to the employees or through your colleagues. Okay. Next one, it is a type of written communications. There are 2 types of communication. First is what? As we are talking, it is the verbal communications. Okay. Next one, a non-verbal communication is a written communications. Okay. So 3 types of memos. We have informative, directive, and responsive. There are only 3 types. Okay, so I will teach you how to use a different phrase, different language according to each type of memos. You learn how to write a perfect and a good structure of memo, which is used in the business system. So this is a memos example. Just you need to see the headings and how you write the memorandum. Okay, so firstly, back to the business email. What are the headings for the email? Okay, 2, from and subject. But in this memorandum, you need to write a full format of headings. Why? This is not the electronic used. This is just the written documents. So you need to have 2, from, date, and subject. So there are 4 lines in the headings, which are to, from, date, subject. Remember through your cerebrum and cerebellum. Okay, just you need to write to, from, date, subject, to, from, date, subject, to, from, date, subject. Listen and repeat. To, from, date, subject. To, from, date, subject. To, from, date, and subject. Try to understand and try to memorize these 4 lines of headings. Okay, so to who you are writing to, whether to a specific person or a specific group of people or a specific party. Specific party means a group of people which are separated into the department. For example, you are going to write the memorandum to the finance department. Just write to finance department, or the specific position. For example, financial analyzer, okay, who responsible to forecast the financial situation, to solve the financial issues. They are the financial analyzer. This is just the position, for example. Number 2, from. From who? From you. You are the writer. Just state your name or your position, or your name and position. Okay, name or position, or it can be name plus position. For example, Mr. Tom Dowie. Okay, Mr. Tom Dowie. He can be any position in the company, for example, but to be specific, okay, Tom Dowie, the marketing manager. Okay, Tom Dowie, marketing manager. Don't forget what? Comma between name and position, same as email. Okay, everything here, some of the structure you can use the writing from the email. For example, how to write name, the positions, or the department. Okay, next one, date. You have 2 dates in the memorandum. Listen carefully. First date is the date of writing. Number 2 is the effective date. There are 2 types of date, okay? Date of writing and effective date. What is date of writing? If you write the memorandum today, you need to write the date of today in the heading. The effective date is just the information in the message. You need to write the effective date for the specific procedure in the message, not in the heading. Okay, so I'll explain later the effective date. Next one, subject. Try to build the subject as I told you, or as I taught you in the business email. Write a subject clear, concise, and understandable, so it would cover the understanding overall for this memo. If you are going to write the informations about a project you are going to launch next week, let's say, you are going to start a subject as, for example, new project launch. Very simple. Okay, so next, the message for the memorandum. What is the difference between memorandum and email? In the email, we have salutation. What is salutations again? Dear who, dear someone. But in the memorandum you have no salutation because you already specified the person here in the heading. Okay, you already named out the receiver, the readers there in the headings, so no need to write the salutations again. All right, so let's start. The message for the memorandum, you have to write it in the left indentation, okay, left alignment. Every business letter, you need to write it at the left alignment only. Okay, so in the message, you have to write out first thing, purpose. Okay, purpose followed by the overall or overview of the message. What is overview? You need to wrap up everything so they are clear on what they are going to read from top to bottom. Okay, write the overview first, the purpose at first. Okay, next one, try to write as this structure. WS question. Try to answer all the WS question first, so everything are aligned into a story. Who, what, where, when, why, how much, and how many. So it is the effective writing to draft it at first. Okay, I said draft means writing a short notes paper, okay, another paper to draft everything as the important message that you need to convey out to the readers, okay, and write it again in the message or the passage form in the memorandum. This is the effective writing. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. This is the first type of memorandum. The first type is informative memos. It is the memos which it gives the readers basic information. For example, in the meetings, what are they communicating in the meetings? What have they talked about in the meeting? So these can be the memos or the evidence of meeting. Okay, so it can be about meetings, can be about a simple request, and so on. So it's also called a routine memos. This is a short name for informative memo. If someone asks you to write a routine memos, please understand that this is the informative memos. Okay, so the informative memos, it clearly introduces the information to be given, a reason for the communications, and what to do in some cases. Okay, so the reason for communication is the purpose. Okay, what to do? What to do in some cases? They are asking you to return the response form. They ask you something and you need to answer something to the writer. Okay, in some case you will know it later. Okay, remember that you must provide the reader the details of information to be shared and make them understand the purpose immediately at first. So try to write the purpose at very first thing as you write the memorandum, as you start to write the memo. Okay. Number two, you must let the readers know why they are being given the information by including contextual or situational details. So let's say it is the important additional details in the message. Make it clear, short, and understandable. Number three, at the end of the memos, you need to make the readers understand what to do with this information, whether to share it to the department, to share it within groups, to execute on some process. Okay, so clear? Next slide. This is examples of the informative memos. Before you start to write out a memorandum, one thing that you need to write at the center of the page. At the center of the page, write out memorandum. In Thai we say it is บันทึกข้อความ okay, a memorandum is บันทึกข้อความ so don't start to write a heading yet, but state this paper as a memo. Next one, start out the headings. What are the headings that you already memorized? To, from, date and subject. So you have two. First, identify to who you write for. In this example, they write all lecturers and staff. They give these memos to the lecturers and staff. So the lecturers are the teachers, the instructors. So in the university, they call the teachers as lecturer. Okay. Number two, from. From who? From you. If you are the administrative manager, just write your position out. Okay. Or another way, write your name, comma, and followed by the position. Another way is name, comma, and your position. Do not write a bracket, okay? Just I let you know only that this is another type, another format to write. Next one, date. This is the date of writing. We are the Asian people. We are in the Asian continent. So use Asian date format. So what is Asian date format? Date, month, and year. Okay, date, month, and year. Do not write month, date, and year. Just follow Asian format. So date, month, and year. Write in a full month format, full date format. Do not write a short abbreviation for month, okay? Lastly, subject for the headings. Subject, use the method of writing the emails in this memorandum. Okay, short and clear. So they have new car park reservation. So you all understand that this memorandum is all about to reserve a new car park. Okay, to reserve a new car park. So what next? You need to do the break line. What is break line? This is a break line. A break line separate headings and message out. Okay, what is the purpose of break line? Some students that would like to ask me, teacher, what is the purpose? I see no purpose of using break line. How and what and why I need to write it? This is the purpose. If you write the subject and you do the message right away, the people, the readers, can neglect some lines. Okay, they can neglect some lines as well. So use the break line. Just try to create a line below the headings. Okay, so as you can see, they write in left alignment. Okay, no need to do the indentation. No need to do the indentions or วรรค okay การย่อหน้า no need to do the indentation. Just write out the message directly, but try to separate the things into the passage just like this. So if you finish just one topic sentence or just one thing that you need to tell them, just do the double spacing. Okay, so let's go through this one together. The university is building a new car park which will be opened on 1st October. The new car park is being built because existing car parking facilities have been found to be inadequate. What is inadequate? In English, inadequate means not enough. What is enough? Adequate. Okay, so with more lecturers and staff coming to work in their personal vehicles, you can park free of charge from 7 in the morning to 9:30 in the evening. This is just finished the first one. But what have they missed out? One thing, the purpose. So for me, I could write the purpose as, if this one is the informative memorandum, I would start with, I'm sorry, I'll write it for you again, okay? So this is the break line. This is the headings, okay? So to start out, write a purpose. We are writing this to inform about. We are writing this to inform about what? About new car park reservation. Just state your purpose, and that's it. You stop with the purpose, and the message begin with the university is building a new car park, blah blah blah. Okay, so answering all the WH question. So who university is building a new car park, doing what? Building a new car park is what? Will be open on 1st October. When? It is being built because existing parking facilities have been found out to be inadequate. So these are the why. Alright? So with more lecturers and staff coming to work in their personal vehicles, you can park free of charge from 7 to 9:30. This is additional information. Okay, lecturers and staff. This one again. Who is the readers? At first, the university is who as the writer. Who wish to reserve a designated parking spot must submit a copy of their vehicle ownership and registration book. This is the how. Okay, before 1st September. When? The sticker permits you free parking for a year, after which you need to get a new sticker. This is next how. Okay. Next one. Only vehicles with special parking stickers blah 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 until the end of this passage. They are the additional information. Why do you need to add the additional information? Because this is the important message that you need to convey out. Okay? The reserved parking spots on the first two floors, blah blah blah, will be distributed on a first come first served basis. This phrase, first come first served basis, means that first who come will get the first item. Next person come will get the next item. Last person come will get the last item. The person who never come will never get that item. So this is the meaning of first come first serve. Or in Thai we say มาก่อนได้ก่อน Okay. Rest of you will have to park on higher floors. Therefore, you should book early to avoid disappointment. At very last and at very end of this memorandum, one thing that you need to write, and this example have been neglected. So I can say you need to write a gratitude. It is thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for your cooperation. It's a gratitude phrase. So anyone read through this, they will understand and they will know what to do, and they would see that you are asking for their cooperation. You are not directing them in the rude way. Okay? So, next one. The directive memos. The directive memo, it is the simple form. It is the simple form and order to follow some policy or procedure which has been determined by the authorities. Let's say for short, directive memos is just you tell someone to do something. Okay, you direct someone, you instruct someone to do something. So it is not much different from the informative memo, but one difference is that you need to do as a procedure, okay, procedure list or the direction to execute some matters. Okay, so remember one thing, you must state the policy or procedure clearly in the beginning. State the policy or procedure clearly in the beginning. Number two, you must give a reason why readers have to take action to ensure the understanding and compliance. The word compliance meaning you are following the procedure. You are following the writers what to do. Okay? You must give all necessary details and guidelines so that the purpose of directive memo is accomplished. Give all details. Give clear and understand details. Number four, you should use firm language but cautious. Firm but cautious meaning you are not going to direct them, you are not going to order, but you use a word with sympathy. Okay, use word with sympathy. Sympathy means you care them. You are putting your heart, your feeling through another person. This is courteous and sympathy. Okay. Number five, using bullet points or numbering. Make clear understanding for readers. If it is the procedure list, I recommend you to use numbering. This is the procedure. But in case if it is just the if it is just the order or the directing, you can use the bullet points to let them know that these are the new rules. This is the regulations of what to do. Okay. Next. This is the example for the directive memos. Headings are all the same. Headings are all the same. Let's see. From line. What is the difference between informative memos, that's last one, and this one? They write name and position. This is how you write another format. Last one, they give only the position. This is the name and position. Okay, date and subject use the same structure. So to begin with, before you write this type of memorandum, back to the last one, I said write in the center what? Memo random. Don't forget to write at the center of your page. Okay, so at the beginning of the message, you need to write out the purpose of memo, purpose of writing. So we are writing this to, let's read. Increasing cases of confusion and misinterpretations of managers caused by different formats of memos used by the staff have been reported to me recently. So overall, they want the employees to follow the new memo format. So we are writing this to instruct or to direct. Okay, we are writing this to instruct or to direct you to follow a new memo format. Just add the subject line. That's it. So as the memos, the message have been go through, go to this one. Because this is the rules and regulations, and it is not the list that they need to follow one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just the rules and regulation. So you can do in the bullet points form. Okay, they decided to do in the bullet points form because this is not the procedure list. This is just the rules and regulation. I repeat that again. So after you write all the procedure or all of your rules and regulations, try to read at the end of this memorandum. Okay, we appreciate. Oh, please use the guidelines immediately. They said please. Okay, please. So you're not going to order someone to do, you are pleasing them to do something. We appreciate your cooperation. This is a sympathy. Okay, this is a sympathy phrase, or this is the gratitude phrase. Okay, we thanks for your cooperation in this matter. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. Thank you. This is a good format to write the ending. Thanks or sympathy, a gratitude or sympathy. Okay, I'll show you later what is to write thankful or a sympathetic phrase or the gratitude phrase. All right, so you can go through this again. You can pause and read this one again to understand how to write a clear directive memorandum. Another type of memorandum, this is another format of writing a directive memo. Let's go through the number here. So before going that, read the passage number 2. Consequently, we have came up with the following regulations and protocol. Please read carefully and abide by them. So this is all about the fire safety regulations and protocol. How would you do the fire safety in case if there are fire? Okay, so number 1, the use of any flammable gas or materials inside the building is prohibited. Number 2, if you hear the alarm, evacuate the building using the fire exits. Do not use the elevators. Number 3, activate the nearest fire alarm in case of fire. Number 4, attack the fire using the fire extinguishers. This is the numbered one, a numbered list. Why they use the number? They want the readers to follow step by step. Okay, if you want the readers to follow the step by step, you need to use the numbering system. That's it. So last but not least, ending one, your cooperation and compliance with the regulations will ensure that there is no threat to life and property. Thank you. This is what they do for the gratitude and sympathetic phrase. Okay, again, you can pause this one and read again, understand the writing and the structure. Okay, last format and last type of memos. This is responsive memos. So the responsive memos is the difference from informative memo. The difference is a response form. The responsive memos must have a response form in order to give the readers answering back to the reader. No, sorry, to the writer. Okay, it is attached to the memo also. So a response form is called enclosure. What is enclosure? Enclosure means another document that attached to the main documents. In Thai สิ่งที่แนบมาด้วย okay สิ่งที่แนบมาด้วย it is called enclosure. In short they write ENCL dot ENCL full stop. So it is the attachment to the memo. Number 3, the readers have to fill in the information requested in the form and return to the place or person mentioned. So one thing that responsive memos need to have additional more than informative and directive. You need to give the specific place, specific person, specific date or time to return the responsive form. For example, the example of this responsive memos is that you always get this responsive memos from the school, whether it is the camp responsive memos. For example, you are going to the camp outside the school. You must have this one from the school and ask your parents, okay, ask the parent exception to answer your name, answer the permission back to the school. Okay, so in Thai you have ใบตอบรับ so in this one the response form is that ใบตอบรับ. Okay, remember you need to provide the readers the details how to fill in the form. Okay, give the readers detail how to fill in the form. Number 2, you must let the readers know to whom and where or when. The readers must submit the response form by stating at the last paragraph of the memo. So in the responsive memos and all other type of memo, actually the first paragraph and last paragraph are the most important one. Okay, you must not forget to put enclosure statements at the left aligned bottom of the page of the paper. Okay, I will show you next one. I will show you next slide how would you state the enclosure statement. Next one, you must ask for only what are required and relevant to the information needed. If you just ask about the camp permission to the parents, what are you going to ask? Name of students, right? Class of students, and whether they can join or cannot join. If they cannot join, what is the reason of rejection of joining? This is just the examples of the response form. Put the relevant and required one. Do not put either watery, I mean น้ำ okay? Do not put the watery question. For example, what is your gender? What is your date of birth in the forms? Okay, is it relevant? Is it related to the school camping? The date of birth of the students? No, not at all. Just the permission. Just your parents tick, agree, allow or not allow. That's it. So this is the examples of memo, the responsive one. 2, all management stuff from HR manager. Date 13 July 2017. Subject leisure trip to Chiang Mai. So as you read the subject, you already understand that they are going to ask for the participation to a trip to where? Chiang Mai. So look carefully through this example. The company is organizing a fully paid leisure 4-day trip to Chiang Mai to show appreciation and gratitude for your hard work that has resulted in our company best ever performance. The annual profits were 55 million baht in 2016. This is just a purpose and overview of the memorandum. Okay, next one, the company invites you. The company invites you, meaning company invites employees. So this one is who, and your family to Chiang Mai where. From 27th to 30th August is when. At the Madison Blue Hotel. This is where. We will arrange transportation for those who need it. There will be lots of fun activities including bowling, karaoke, sightseeing, and a lucky draw. This is why and how. Okay, we hope you will join us and make a trip a memorable one. Please fill in the attached response form and return it to the Human Resources Management Office before 19 July in order to help us finalize the plan. Thank you. So this one, what I told you is to tell the readers how and where and to whom to submit. Okay, so return it to Human Resource Management Office where to submit, before 19 July when to submit. Okay, so at last you ask someone to do something for you. You need to put the gratitude to them. Thank you or thank you for your cooperation. Okay, at last, before you write out this form, before you write out the response form, write the enclosure at the end of this paper, left aligned, okay, at the bottom. So you should write it here at the bottom. ENCL full stop. Response form colon. Response form colon. 4-day leisure trip to Chiang Mai. So how would you write the enclosure? Okay, you need to write the enclosure as state that this is the response form that's attached to this memo. A response form that attached to this memo, followed by the topic of that response form. Write the same response form name to the enclosure lines. Okay, it should be the same name from enclosure line in the memo page and the topic of response form in the response form page. All right, so as we go through the question is all about I shall or shall not join the trip. So they ask for a participation, okay, alone or number of guests. Accommodation, you want single room, double room, or family room. So single room is just for one person. A double room is for like 2 person. Family room can be 3 and above people. Okay, food. If you are vegetarian, non-vegetarian, vegan, or halal, what do you need? Which food do you need? This is important. Okay. Number 4, transportation. If you go by yourself or the company arrange for you, this is also important to know exactly what do they need. Okay. And lastly, name, signature, position, date. This is just to ask the readers who are the responser, who are the response people or person. Okay. So this is just a response form. You can create this in your imaginations and you can create the response form upon your appropriateness and upon your frameworks of your memorandum. Okay, so I would stop at this point. I would give you 5 minutes break and then I'll continue it again. Okay, 5 minutes break. You can pause at this line and try to read the above types of memos and examples again before we go through again. Okay, students, welcome back to the lessons. I give you already 4 to 5 minutes break. Okay, so let's continue to the purpose of memos. So the purpose of memos, it can be used to quickly communicate with a wide audience. Something brief but important, okay? Such as procedural changes, price increase, policy additions, meeting schedules, reminders for teams, or summaries of agreement terms, for example. These are proposed widely used in the business or company. So to give you a summary, a purpose of memo, you can have a informative memo, which is to inform. Okay, next one, to inquire. What is the purpose of this one? To inquire. So what is the use of type of memo? Which one which one does this one use with? Inquire one. The responsive memos, asking and then get the answers back. Next one, to suggest. To suggest can be informative memos and the directive memo. Next one, to report. To report can be informative memos, just to report, just to convey out the information. To remind. To remind can be both directive and informative. To instruct. As the name says, instruct means instructions, so it should be the directive memo. To communicate the ideas. This one can be the informative or responsive. Why responsive? To communicate the ideas, they can have the responsive memos or response form that asks for ideas. Can be. Okay, so these are all the purpose that it is built for. To write the effective memos, the communication strategist Mr. Brown, he says that effective memo is short, concise, highly organized, means it is well organized into a structure, and never late. It should anticipate. Anticipate means give the clear answer to the readers whether they would have some question. So after they read this one, they would be clear and understand also. It would create zero or very less question. So anticipate means to strike or hit to the point. Okay, that the reader might have. It never provides unnecessary or confusing information by Mr. Brown. All right. Be clear, be focused, be brief yet complete. Take a professional tone and write as if the world could read it, that is. Don't include any information that's too sensitive for everyone to see. So it means that write it short and clear. Okay? Use the professional tone and courteous tone language. So the entire company or entire organizations could read with this memorandum. All right. Advantage of the memo. The memos are inexpensive, meaning it is cheap. So you use just a paper and copy it to all the employees or all of the people that you need to send them. Okay. Next one, memos are effective. Effective means everyone that get this paper, they could read and understand. So it is effective. Communicate via memo is quick. So you don't need to write an email and pass it through the senders and ask them to forward. But you can write in a paper and they could read it within a day. It helps maintaining written records. In the other words, a proof or evidence of written document is made. So it can be the records or it is the evidence of something or some situation that is happening. Okay, so a good evidence or a good proof is clear and short. So back to the format again. This is just to wrap up your own confusion, your own understanding. So to, from, date, subject is what? It is the headings. Okay, this is the headings. To, from, date, subject. So date, you have two dates, effective date and date of writing. This is date of writing. Message. In the message, you must start with the what? With the purpose plus overview. Then all of the message there should answer WH questions. Okay. At the end of responsive memos, you should have what? ENCL or enclosure line, which state out the response form name. Okay. So, message writing for memo. Message writing. Always start with purpose of writing. As I told you, purpose of writing must come first. Never forget to end with gratitude to your readers. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperations, or other way how to thank them. Never exceeds 3 paragraphs. Okay. If it exceeds more than 3 paragraphs, it is one problem that's going to be occur for sure. Comprehensive issue. The problems of understanding. They could confuse on some points or any points that's interrelate to the memos. Okay, always write in a paragraph from general to specific information. So start with the smaller points through to the bigger points. Okay, small to big, never goes big to small. Okay, but I said to write the overview first to let them know overall. Okay, so first paragraph state the purpose and overview. Number 2, details for memos. See, small one, smaller one to the bigger one. Number 3, call for action, gratitude or sympathy. This is what we are going to learn at this break, this half break. So, you should write call for action, gratitude or sympathy based on the type of memorandum as well. So, how to write? We already have a break. So, the phrase that it is useful for each type of memorandum. So first, I'm gonna tell you there are 4 types of phrase. So first is purpose writing. Next is call to action. Call to actions means you tell them what to do with this memo, with these notes. Okay. Number 3, gratitude. Gratitude means to thanks. Okay, to thanks. Number 4, sympathy. Sympathy means you tell them a statement that you care them. You put your feelings into the reader's feelings. Okay. Purpose of writing. You can start with, I am writing this memo to blah blah blah. That blah 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 is this line. To inform, to command, to direct, to ask for, to explain, to remind, to instruct. Use the verb in the purpose that I summarized to you lately. Okay, you can change the subject. I am, we are. Okay, I am, we are. Okay, this memo is written to. This memo is written to inform, to command. You can use this phrase also. Okay, we would like to. We would like to inform. We would like to command. We would like to instruct. Okay, those 3 can be your guidelines how to create the purpose, to start the very first sentence of purpose writing. Okay, so to state the purpose, you need to answer what's your why. What do I mean? Why you write this memo? Okay. Call to action writing. Call to actions means let them know what to do with this memo later. So I would like to thank all of you in advance for doing what? For example, I would like to thank all of you in advance for answering this response form. I would like to thank all of you in advance for coming to the meeting. Okay, this is the example. I would like you to ... as soon as possible. For example, I would like you to return the response form as soon as possible. I hope you understand, and please do something for me, do something for us. Please do something by, within, or due. Please submit the response form by. Please submit the response form within or due date. I look forward to. This phrase is very important. I look forward to plus gerunds, verb ing. This is the phrase, okay? Look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you in the meeting. I look forward to having you as a part of our team. This is the example, okay? This is call to action. Gratitude phrase. Gratitude means to give thanks to them, to give the grateful feelings for them. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you in advance. Thank you for your cooperations. It is pleasure too. This phrase is not professional writing, but it is the phrase which you can use in the memorandum also. Okay, it is pleasure to let you do something. It is pleasure to hear from you. It is pleasure to have a meeting next week, for example. Sympathetic phrase. Sympathetic phrase means you showing your feelings towards them. Okay, you understand them by all of your feelings. For example, I apologize for. I apologize for means you feel sorry for, you are sorry for what you do. Okay, I feel very sorry for example, I feel very sorry for this situation, but I will try to solve the problem soon, for example. I apologize for your inconvenience due to, for example, due to the decrease in the profit, so you should come to have the meeting next month, for example. This might make uncomfortable feeling for you, but okay, for your convenience, please do something. This phrase, for your convenience, please, you don't have to say you're sorry, but I understand you that you are in the inconvenient situation, but if you do this, you will feel convenient. This is a sympathetic phrase. So lastly, assignment number 3. I give you the situations and you read the instructions and submit to me by Friday midnight, within midnight, okay, by Google Classroom. So the situation is, you are a personnel manager. Personnel manager means human resource manager, which take care for the employees. Okay, personnel manager is the HR manager. They take care for the employees. Your employees are using too much mobile phones for non-working purpose while working. Let's say they are gaming, they are chatting, they are using Facebook, Instagramming, they are Twittering. So you need to create 3 rules at maximum to prohibit mobile phone use in the working hours. Okay, so imagine you are the HR manager and you see the employees playing all mobile phones in the class and then participate. Zero productivity. Okay, instruction: write a memo to all staff informing new rules on mobile phones using and persuade them to work harder for a company. You can make up all necessary items such as company name. Okay, so you are the HR manager. This is from. To who? To all staff. And create your own subject. Use the date of today if you do it today. Okay? And don't forget the break lines again. don't forget the break lines. So the message, the purpose and the message, try to do it for at most of your ability, so I can check your works and then I can grade you. Okay, submit through Google Classroom. If you submit late, it will be subject to your assignment score, meaning the late work submission will be deducted by the score. Okay, so I'll see you next week, and the next week is our new chapter. I want you to finish this chapter. If you have any question, try to read, try to go back to the presentation that I given to you and read it again. Try to understand, and if you have some more question, you can ask me by the comments or by the Facebook chat or line chat if you have my lines or Facebook. I feel that you have understand all the chapters here. So I'll see you next week, and I hope you enjoy this class. Thank you, students.